by the way, guys.
Yeah, I saw his there about what's going on with him. It's a shame.
This doesn't seem to take into account content and may not be suitable for individuals who are under the age of 18. All Jaws pictures, clips, and music are owned and copyrighted by NBC/Universal.
Let's talk Jaws live, baby. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey, hello,
Howdy.
and
Hello, everybody.
happy Thursday. And while we were rolling in the intro music, somebody started knocking on the door, and lo and behold, who decided to show up? Look at this guy,
Oh,
Marty,
Hey guys,
Marty Milner.
Marty?
Hey, Marty, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing well, thank you.
Awesome.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you all. Happy New Year.
Happy
Hey.
New Year.
Happy New Year. We hope things are going well for you, Marty. Guys, sorry, we got some incredible promptness here. So tonight we're doing a 2025 retro and kind of look back on this past year. And I just mentioned something to a couple of people, sounded interesting, and if they want to pop on for a few minutes, and lo and behold, Marty Milner himself, Jaws Carpenter, is here.
The man.
How you been?
The myth.
How you been,
The
buddy?
legend.
Been good?
Welcome
I'm great.
anytime, not just once a year.
Marty, I was telling Nate that you're one of the people I wish I had met on the island. I was there, but we never
Yeah,
crossed
it was,
paths, and I feel bad. I
It's
would love to have
okay.
met you.
It was a chaotic time for everybody. It really flew right by.
It's great.
It really did. It really did.
Sorry I missed you, but I caught the rest of you.
You did.
Yeah. You know, Marty, I heartfelt moment, buddy. I get a phone call saying that you are sitting in the Orca replica and want to know if I'd come over and grab a picture with you. And I have that picture still to this day. The three of us, you and Court and I, sitting in there, and you're holding up the scar on the hand. That was an awesome moment. I'm really thrilled that you included me in that, buddy. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we made a little bit of Jaws history there. A lot
Oh,
of
man.
people on the island having a good time, and a lot of people missed it, and I'm sorry they did. But, you know, it was kind of catch as you catch can.
It was pretty magical. Yeah, it really was. And my favorite picture of you, I have to say, Marty, was the picture of you in '74 with no shirt fixing Bruce, and the picture of you with no shirt standing in the museum working on the new Bruce. That was that. Tell me everyone. So that was an incredible picture. That was
Well, that was
great.
just to put it all in perspective for people, that it's like it's 50 years is a blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
That was incredibly amazing. We got a couple people hopping on saying hello. We got Judy Pancos saying hello. Hello, Judy.
Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Hey, Judy.
We got Robert saying hello, guys. And Judy is saying I didn't get to meet him either. Yeah, it was.
Oh, Judy.
See that?
You know,
we all have our
Val-
regrets.
yeah, Val and I were talking about that, and there was chances are you probably walked right past a lot of people.
Yeah.
There was immense crowds. I mean, you know, Marty, I know that you lived there. I've never been there beyond June. All I do is see and hear about what July and August is like, and I can only imagine that those couple of days probably were pretty reminiscent of more of July and August than they were June.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The best days on the vineyard are actually in January and February.
Yeah,
Like right now.
Yeah, it's like when you get that heavy wet snow, you can actually hear the snow fall.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
It's got to be
oh,
so
no
beautiful.
kidding.
It's quiet time. But the summer bustle is something else.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, well, it's such a nostalgic time. I mean, it was as soon as it was over, it was hard to believe it was hard to
Yeah.
believe what transpired. I mean, it really was. You know.
Went and blink an eye and it was
Well, I'm
gone.
glad everybody I'm glad you got a chance to come and share part of what the vineyard is like to get a sense of it. And just, certainly don't want to like take up too much of the space here, but you can imagine
The floor is
make
yours.
that. You can imagine trying to make that movie under those circumstances, from basically April, May, June, July, August. We didn't really wrap up until mid-September. So a lot of that construction took place right in the center of all that hubbub, and that
Wow.
intensity, that crush of people that you experienced that literally sucks the air right out of your lungs. I mean, everybody is demanding, everybody is in a hurry, everybody wants what they want. And in the middle of all that, you're trying to make this movie.
Well, and it's not like you're in very, very remote, places where there aren't anyone. I mean, there was days that you said like, you couldn't, you can't imagine what it was like trying to shoot a. Hell, there was days I couldn't imagine what it was like trying to get from Oak Bluff to Edgartown. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was just.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
And you can imagine like just getting the big food truck. There were two full tractor trailer size, kind of like a more portable kitchen things, trying to move those through traffic and all the Teamster vehicles and all the extras. They all had drop offs. Some of them tried to park cars. It was chaos.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's, as you know, parking's so limited.
I talk about seeing Marty on the island a lot, and I try to explain who he is to people at my work, at my job, especially my doctor I work at. He goes, "Well, what happened?" I said, "Well, he was sitting there at a bench. Jeffrey Kramer was at the autograph little tent, and all of a sudden I heard my name being yelled at, and turned around, it was Marty Milner."
Well, you're easily identifiable, and you're cute as a button. And everybody basically knows you. So
I was like, "Hey," and it was so hot. And my doctor says, "Well, what did you tell him?" I said, "Hydrate."
yeah,
All of a sudden,
and that was
nurse in me
that
came
was
out.
good advice. That
It
was
was
good advice.
It was
Very
good.
good.
Yeah. I got this is kind of cool. So you guys know, and my brother's in the hospital right now, and his respiratory therapist, I believe that's what he is, happens to be someone I went to high school with, and I found out this week that he checks in on the show here and there. He actually just chimed in and said, "Hi, Nate." So hello to Steve Kohler. Hey, buddy.
Hi,
See you. Went
Steve.
to high school with
Hey,
Steve Kohler.
Get
Kinda
better,
interesting,
man.
so,
Get better, man.
Thank you for taking care of Nate's brother.
Yeah, absolutely, 110%. Yeah, yeah. So this past year, I mean, we're simply talking about the 50th, but this past year was just incredibly filled with highlights. In fact, if I had to summarize it into one thing, it's one thing I've been saying for the last probably few months, and that it has been the summer of the shark. I mean, this whole year, it was a year of the shark.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. I mean, things just started to open up, and people started to show up, and I mean, whether it was commercially, whether it was people that perhaps you didn't quite realize, or just the connections that we made at times were just and still have just simply amazing. And I really thought that perhaps things would kind of die down a little bit. Once the 50th was done, and I can't say it did. It wasn't like it's sudden, like the door closed and it went away. And even being on the island, I was on the island obviously the week of the 50th, and then I was there the week after. And I was thinking it was going to be very calm and quiet, like June typically is. And 50th came, and it was a mad rush. And then the following week, there was a bunch of people that came for that week, and that just kind of ensued. Now, it wasn't quite as hectic as what it was, but it's still, there was a lot going on, and it really was. For me, it was just 3 weeks of magic. It was just incredible. And being on the island, like you said, Marty, I mean, so many people were there for the first time. Val happens to be one of them.
Yeah.
And you fall in love with that place. It's just so removed from everyday life for me anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Really like it a lot.
It's magical, like you said.
Oh yeah. 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 Amazing. Marty, is that the last time you've been back to the island?
No, I've been back a number of times. have a lot of friends there, and in many ways, I'm still considered a member of the community because I did live there for 20 years, and I lived in all 6 island towns. And Jaws was actually a very small part of my participation in Martha's Vineyard. But I go back every once in a while and check in with some friends. And as you will find out later on, inevitably, as you outlive people, they fall to the wayside one way or the other. So that's just part of the vineyard. And there's a continuity of the community there that it's like there are more people on Martha's Vineyard know me than know me in Tallahassee. Because Martha's Vineyard is actually a community.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
that
Yeah,
is true. Yeah.
definitely.
And
That's
that's
very.
there's
Sorry,
a
buddy,
there's a lot of people that that I ran into that told me stories about other people. And like when I met Janie right across the harbor, although I should have pointed this out to you when I met you, but I was too confused at the time.
No,
'cause
it's fine. No, but no, it's good.
right across the
Good.
harbor from where the Orca was docked was Shark City, which is
Oh,
where
okay.
where they staged the construction of the sharks after
Right.
the midpoint in the movie. Once the beach scenes were done, right across the harbor there was a little like dock area where they could pull the those pontoons that we moved the sharks around with. And that was where the sharks were staged, and that's where I did a lot of the repairs. So it was funny being right across the harbor from where I had been working 50 years ago to where Michael Sterling delivered the replica of the Orca. So,
Wow.
and a lot of people on the island didn't care about the Jaws 50th anniversary because I took some out to lunch and some took me out to dinner, and it really didn't come up. We were talking about other things. So it's funny that it's in the summer, unless you've got something to do with it, you kind of like drive around it because it can be a real
Oh, sure.
nightmare.
Trying to
of
avoid it.
Right.
And lost time. That
Yep.
lost time is a big factor in the summer.
Mhm.
Awesome.
I just go and enjoy it regardless. I
Yeah.
mean, I did the fan thing for the first couple of years. Then it got to a point to where okay, we weren't even talking about the movie. We did a little bit, but we enjoyed the island itself.
Yeah.
And I will always go back.
Right,
There's
let's do
always
it.
a quiet piece of beach that you can find if you want to look for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
And
often
it's
would
just-
just
it's
get off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I look forward to going back because the 5 days I was there was nonstop Jaws
Yeah.
events. And I spent a little bit of time on Edgartown Lighthouse Beach, which was beautiful. So I'm looking forward to going back to the island and just relaxing and soaking in that beautiful island.
Well, there's a lot you can discover there, Val, and over time, there's a lot of little areas on the island that have been inhabited by the people who call them the stars of your life. It's like a lot of like writers and a lot of film people and a lot of musicians have little areas where they've lived in with their little coterie of like co-New Yorkers, and they live in these little enclaves on the island, and it's a very normalizing place. But after you go there for a while, like Jenny and Mike, you'll run across stories about different people that lived there at different points, and that they might have written a song there or written a book there or something like that. It's like, and those are the great stories that make you realize the depth of the history of the island. And now it's got Jaws and Steven Spielberg, and there were, numerous artistic things that were also made on Jaws that people, unless you're an art historian, you wouldn't know about. Most people don't know that Thomas Hart Benton spent a lot of time in Shellmark and in the Up Island communities and did a lot of his paintings there. And James Cagney was there and joined a little art sketch group that was based in Heart Haven and Oak Bluffs. And Ruth Gordon and Garson Kanin lived there. in Edgartown since the 40s.
Oh, wow.
And Somerset Maugham, who wrote The Razor's Edge and numerous other books, came to the island and stayed and visited with Ruth Gordon and Garson Kanin. So there's a lot of people. Nathaniel Hawthorne was there for a while, and parts of Moby Dick were actually written in Edgartown.
Oh,
In
wow.
Edgartown.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And now Jaws was made there, so that's another little piece of the jigsaw puzzle.
Sure. Awesome.
fascinating.
Since we jumped right to that topic, why don't we hit a little bit? One of the things we wanted to talk about tonight is we're trying to look back on the past year for us and for the community in general is some of our favorite experiences from this past year. And I kind of asked like what was the most favorite experience from this past year within this realm? And Marty, I'll ask you real quick without putting you on the spot. What was your most favorite experience from this past year relating?
Well, it was seeing the orca because secretly for the past year and a half, Michael Sterling and I have communicated online about technical details of the boat because he wanted to get it correct. And I have always been generous with my time from the smallest kid to the biggest orca reproduction because that's who I am. And I got picked up at the ferry by an old friend of mine who I was staying with during the weekend. And I said, let's park at Oak Bluffs Harbor and then walk over and get something to eat on Circuit Avenue in Oak Bluffs. She didn't know. She knew something was going on with Jaws, but she didn't know that was going on. And so we parked at the head of the harbor and started walking around the harbor. And then I saw the orca. So I yelled at Michael, and Michael said, Marty, how are you? And we were going back and forth. And Robin just said, what the hell is going on? Who is this guy? And I said, Robin, I've never met the man. This is the first time I met him in person. And that was, to me, that was literally a Sterling moment. That was a Michael Sterling moment where the person I had been talking to very intensely for quite a while about a lot of precise details. And I've done this with other people as well, like model builders and people like that. And but it was just great to see. There it is. There's the orca. There's the details. Those are the choices Michael made with the information I gave him. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's maroon naugahyde on the cushion covers. And I think Steve Burt stitched it together for him. So it's like, that's, to me, that was the highlight, the first flash that I saw what was going on. And all the people there completely blew my friend Robin away. She just said, what the hell is going on? I had no idea the Jaws was this big. And I said, much bigger. Wait till you see tomorrow.
Oh, gosh.
Awesome.
So when you turn the corner and you're seeing that docked, what is your first, how did you feel? I mean, if it were me, I would just be stunned or butterflies or just, I don't know.
I was proud of Michael.
There you go.
I knew what he wanted to do. And I knew his enthusiasm, his energy, and the amount of time that he would spend on the phone going back and forth with actually on Messenger, on Facebook, sometimes late at night. And we'd just go back and forth because he was out there in South Florida putting this thing together, and he did a very, very credible job, and he's doing good work with it now off the coast. He's doing some kind of shark research project. So, but that I was proud of Michael. I was proud of a man who decided to do something and then executed it and did it.
He did a damn good job.
And his son Jack was a great guy, good kid. And I told him he's got to build his resume right now and put that at the top of the resume and get into film school. And I said, you'll probably get a scholarship if you work this right. So I think they might actually be trying to do that.
That's good. That's great.
How much smaller percent? Was it 10% smaller than the original orca, Marty?
I would say somewhere around there. The length and the width are a little smaller. And but the trim and yaw issues with how the boat travels through the water are identical because it's the same situation. The
Sure.
Warlock that we rebuilt to make it look like what Joe Alves wanted, and the Orca 2, which we built to be the breakaway tip and turn model, travel through the water the same way that Michael's boat does, because the issue is one of ballast and trim, and also leverage on the mast. There's a lot of leverage on that. So
Yeah.
if you look at both boats, they travel through the water the same way. It's not the way a shipwright would want their boat to move through the water, but that's the way they are.
When I came off the ferry, I didn't even know. I'm just driving. We came off the ferry, my wife and I, and I'm driving, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the Orca. And I just immediately just pulled over next to a garbage bin and got out. And I thought I was like in heaven. I'm like, I can't believe
Yeah.
I'm here
Wow.
looking at this perfect replica of the Orca. It was stunning.
Well, that one little episode and what Michael did, it's like he had an axle problem on the way up from Florida.
Mm.
He easily could have had an accident. He might not have. He actually didn't have parts of the boat finished, which we were talking about right up to the last minute. They still weren't done, but I've seen pictures since then, and he got it done, and he got it done correctly. And that's the whole. That's the whole piece of making all the people like you guys and literally thousands of others, they have memories and they have pictures of Michael's effort.
Yep.
And even if he did nothing else, right there is his piece of history.
Absolutely.
And he can claim that with both hands because he and Jack made that happen.
I think it's funny when you say that he could have had an accident. I have seen video, whether on all kinds of social media outlets, and there are people who are on the road with them traveling with the Orca. They're not touching that baby. They're taking pictures of it, and they're making sure. Oh my God, that's Quick's boat. They're making sure that baby's safe on the road. The other drivers are, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Well, so all right, so we got Marty. Marty is seeing the Orca was his highlight, and I think we all pretty much in agreement with that. So moving on, Val, what was your highlight of this past year?
My highlight, I have a lot, but as I said, that this is one of my top highlights. Is the first time I was on the show with these great people, talking about my experience on the 50th. So that was one of my extreme highlights, is meeting and becoming friends with this whole crew, and luckily being a part of the crew now. So that's fantastic. And
that's awesome, Val. I'll make sure I get that $20 bill out to you in the mail.
I think I got a 5 somewhere around here somewhere. I don't know. Let me look. Okay, no, I'm kidding.
And also, going to the Let's Talk Jaws live event at the museum and just capturing Richard Dreyfuss coming in to the room and posting that on TikTok, and over 2 million people have watched that video.
You know what? I've got that. Why don't I pull that in here? That was a magical day having him come in with us. And here, let me pull that in here, guys.
Sure.
Let me bring that in because there's some things you don't get tired of seeing.
No, absolutely not.
That happens to be one of them. Here we go.
How many people here are over 50?
Oh yeah.
So you were here the first time around.
Yeah.
We buried sharks here. Okay. Hi.
I may not be Richard. It's a not Hooper ID card.
That's Jamie Sanders giving him a Matt Hooper ID card.
Thank you, sir. Wow. Share up in the morning for you, sir.
By the way, Marty, that hat he's wearing, he got that hat.
I love the hug he's giving to Joe Alves, so he hasn't seen it. No, no, weird. Very cool. Yeah, great.
That
Great
hat that
memory.
he's wearing, Marty, I gave him $50 and he gave me the hat that was on his head. And I have it right over there in my room.
Yep.
Well,
You should have seen Nate and I, because we didn't know that he was gonna show up, right? But it was funny because Nate's like, "How are we gonna get him to sit?" I said, "You move the damn tables, you split them like the Red Sea, and you sit him right in the middle,
where does he sit? Wherever the hell he wants to.
wherever the
Like,
hell he wants."
they work.
I mean, even I noticed I was watching the Daily Jaws interview with Richard Dreyfuss, and Ross from the Daily Jaws referenced that video, talking about that video that
See?
Yeah, that's
you know,
awesome.
Richard coming in and getting a standing ovation everywhere he went, and
Mhm.
yeah, that was great. Too many great memories to you know to go over right now, but it was all magical, everything.
Really was. Well,
Most definitely.
Janie, over to you. So, you know, ironic that we're kind of rehashing these things, but
There it is.
Janie said, you know, as well, that was her most memorable part of the year.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Was us being there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good point, and it's so funny because if you look at the picture with Joe and Al, look at the gentleman standing in the back of the window.
Yeah. Mike is
Mike.
deep in thought there.
Mike is deep in thought, and I had my camera
I'm
was
just taking
literally
it all in. I'm
exactly,
just taking
and
it all in.
I saw that moment, and I took my phone. My phone almost was dead because I had been on my phone all day. And so I literally saw that moment, took that picture, and this just describes what that whole weekend was about. You know, from Joe finding the island, Richard playing Hooper, and then Mike in the background that just brings all of this together for us here on the page and the site. This was the most magnificent picture I have ever seen. And I was like, if I didn't catch it now, I was going to regret it.
And I've got mine.
And there's his picture. I
There
got
it
I
is.
had
Look at
copies made for him, Marty. Look at that.
Yeah.
and
That's pretty cool.
and then of course with Richard sitting with Jeff and them, and then with Jeff, you know, Joe and all that. It was good to see the people who brought this film together.
Sure.
As much of a pain in the butt as it was to do, it's still nostalgic, and it's going to be. And of course, I went to the Great White, you know, the Atlantic Conservancy. There's Bruce. That's Greg Nicotero's
There's
Bruce right
Bruce.
there.
And
Wow.
you guys at home that don't know, the guy at the bottom of the screen, Marty, was the guy responsible for keeping him in one piece.
In one piece,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And so I went there, had a picture. That's very, very special to me because my ex-husband and I were married on Martha's Vineyard. And we were married in front of the Edgartown Lighthouse, and our wedding picture is standing in front of this shark. We didn't have a wedding dress.
Wow.
We didn't have. That was our wedding picture when it was at Sharky's in Edgartown.
No kidding.
That was our wedding photo, and of course Curly. That's the shark that the Conservancy has. That's Curly. So, you know, I wanted to go. So it was very momentous for me because of the whole Jaws reunion, seeing you guys. Seeing Marty in person, seeing Jeff in person, Richard, everything. It was a dream come true. And of course, the interview with, you know, I can't even think now. Benchley with Wendy on here.
With Wendy, sure.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Hey,
Thank you.
That was an amazing time. Yeah, absolutely amazing time. Well, Mike,
Wait.
on to you, buddy.
And I got yelled at by Marty. Okay, now I'm good.
That's like a rite of passage, right?
That was a rite of passage. I was like,
I can't imagine Marty yelling at anyone. Just very
He was
calm,
like-
laid back
he
the
was
whole
like, hey,
time.
Janie. And I turned around and there he was.
All right. So, and Mike, so I was, you know, your moment, you know, if I have to, not that I'm going to give a spoiler here, your moment was one of the most touching moments I saw when we were there. It really was, because I was a spectator of that whole scene, and that was just amazing, to the point where I put my phone down. I was not going to sit and videotape that. I wanted you guys to have that moment. That was a very personable moment. You want to talk about that, Mike?
For those of you who don't know, in 1977, right before my 17th birthday, Roy Scheider gave me permission to start his official fan club, which I ran through 1985. I would send him, back before the internet, I would send him letters with questions, and he would send it back, and I would do little membership kits. And there's an interview with Roy, and actually the day he killed the shark in Jaws 2, he called me at home, and the term spoiler alert was not around at that time, because the first thing he said was, well, killed the shark today. So, but this is when all this came together, and the people planning it invited us to kind of help participate in the planning of it. I suggested, because Christopher Shaw was going to be there, having David Hamilton, Murray's son, and either Christian or Molly Scheider, Roy's son and daughter, come, and then Richard Dreyfuss' stepdaughter, Casey, and do like the Children of Jaws. And Christian couldn't make it. Casey was there, and Molly came. David also couldn't make it. And when she was there, I was really nervous. And Nate, you were watching me. I didn't know how to approach her. But when I did, it was just the greatest feeling to me. And we talked, and I said, can I get a hug? And as she hugged me, I said, the last time I saw your dad, he gave me a hug just like that. And I had brought one of my scrapbooks from stuff I'd been collecting from the mid-'70s, newspaper articles, magazine covers, photo stills, studio stills. And I gave them to her. And she said that she was going to, I guess they have something else in their house that's at the front door that was Roy's, that people see when they come in, and she was going to put that there as well. But it was just, to me, that was my favorite moment out of all of them. And, I've been so blessed. This film has blessed me in so many ways. Books and this show and all the friends I've made. And it continues to bless me. But this was my moment for, of the year, Jaws wise, because it was something that I never would have dreamed would have happened.
Incredible. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Very much a kind of a full circle kind of moment. And again, a very personal moment. It truly was. It was very touching. Dear God, I thought I was going to come to tears. I mean, everyone around you just started to melt.
Damn it!
It was just like,
Leave me alone.
and speaking of full circle moments, obviously we're talking about how so lucky we were to have Dreyfuss come. Mike said something else that really stood out was
what was your favorite moment?
Well, hold on. We got to finish Mike's. We got Mike's
okay.
second one. And I'm going to jump into Mike. So I thought I'd leave myself last since I'm hitting all the buttons here. So let's pull in Mike's other one real quick here. Janie, you won't cry over this one. This one's it's a good one.
Go ahead, cry.
I must be.
In everyone's consciousness. In everyone's consciousness.
There we go. Yeah, and that was,
That's a great
Richard
moment.
just honestly paying homage to Mike, for his dedication and keeping this stuff alive for all this time. That's pretty awesome.
I honestly thought that he was pointing to Gary Springer. I was like, okay, maybe Gary's got something to do with this. I had no idea until afterwards that he was referencing me.
Mhm.
And it's just the whole thing. He wrote the foreword for the book, and and Nate, we had like 3 minutes notice that he was going to be there, and literally away from the back of the room, and it was Kyle, who's Richard's business partner, and I went up and said hello, and he said Richard wants to come on the show, and I was like, we're full, maybe some other time. No,
Liar.
like, yeah, a liar, exactly. I said, oh, perfect. And the idea was he was going to try to sneak in and sit in the back while we were doing questions. And I was going to say, okay, we got time for one more question. And then he would stand up and everybody would recognize him. But when I did that, he didn't stand up. So if the people that were watching the show at the time and watched it on YouTube, who's this guy? We got one more question in the back. And nobody answers. They're probably thinking I'm like imagining things. But for him to do that, and for Joe and Jeff and Gary Springer and Tom and Dennis and Gigi and Casey and everybody that came and sat and did that, it was amazing that it all came together, and it came together so smoothly. And it was just really a real celebration. If the weekend had ended that day, if I had gone home after that, I would have been happy. Because that, to me, that was Jaws. That was what Jaws was to me. A bunch of people in a room, a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Resounding. Yeah. Resounding answer there.
Yep.
Well, if I had to sum up my best experience, it ties in with the same trip, maybe a little bit different, but it ties in. And Judy actually commented here. She said, Nate Phillip says his most memorable moment was jumping off the Jaws bridge with you. Judy, that was, ties right in. And in fact, a wonderful time spending time with Phillip and Judy. And so, I have to say that my most memorable experience was the time I spent with the people when we were there. Just people that we've gotten to know, friends that I know. And these were I'm not a picture taker, to be honest with you. I'm horrible when it comes to pictures. But I made a point that I just want to take some pictures of some of the friends that I met and got a chance to spend some time with. And I apologize if you're not on there. I tried to dig through. Again, I'm terrible with pictures, but I mean,
You and I never got a picture made together.
I know. Well, we wanted to get a picture. We wanted to get a picture of the three of us together. Do you remember that? It was
We were
one of
going
the
to do
things
it on the
we
Orca.
thought we were going to have time for. It really
Yeah.
was. I mean,
Yeah.
Janie, I'm so glad we at least, you and I and Jen got to go down to
Black
the
Dog.
Black Dog and actually
Yeah,
sit down and
dinner.
have dinner,
Yeah.
and have a talk
Yeah.
and I knew that Janie meant a lot to me, because when I walked in and sat down, she already had a beer on the table for me, so I knew it was going to be a good evening. So.
That was Jen. It wasn't
I know it was. I know. But honestly, I mean, the people that I met, people that I was able to spend time with, I mean, that I've been a repetitive person. It was the Jaws experience was phenomenal, over the top. Was something I don't know if I'd ever have a chance to do that again, but it was a vehicle for me to have that connection with the people that I was able to spend time with, and that was just nothing short of amazing. It really was. Yeah.
My favorite picture's on there.
Which one would that be?
What do you think?
Where am I looking?
You got it for
So many
Christmas.
pictures. Oh gosh, yeah, the picture. Yeah, oh my God, yeah, the photo bomb with myself and Richard and Jen, and yeah. That's a good one. The picture I was talking about with Marty, that Marty invited me over for, is on there. That's Marty and Cord and I sitting in the Orca. Yeah. There's a couple of us people we've had on the show. We're down below there at Jaws Trivia. There's Val. It's when I met Val for the first time in person, down there in the bottom corner.
That's a good picture to put on our pages, Nate.
There is. There is.
Okay,
I love that
yeah.
picture. Yeah. That's a screensaver from time to time. With
Yeah.
it's just all the regular names that you see floating around on the pages. You got David Wharton's there. You got Mark Ames there. You got Jamie Sanders there. There we are. We're hanging out with Sterling one night. After dinner. There's me with with Judy's husband after we jumped off the bridge, and I was horribly calling some lady by the wrong name to get her to jump off the bridge for 5 minutes in front of like.
Oh,
20
that was
people.
Dawn, our dear Dawn.
and me hanging out with Mike and Chief Brody that was the day of the reunion, and it was just really something I'll never forget. It was just absolutely incredible. Yeah, Mark's joining us. Mark's chiming in saying, "You see ours, love the sunset in the background." Yeah, it's all of us down there. Yeah, smack dab in the middle of the picture.
That's a good picture
just a
too.
wonderful shot. Yeah, just a wonderful time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Beyond
Marty,
reasonable
did you ever
doubt.
think there would be this much madness at the time?
Did I what?
Did you ever think that there would be this much madness over this film at the time?
No, absolutely not. The from the very beginning of making the movie, I have it's just been a stunning series of unexpected, call them life explosions. It was like throughout the entire movie, nobody knew what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
And that went on for 6 very intense months, and then jump ahead 50 years, and this thing is scheduled, and in the back of my mind is it's going to rain for 5 days. It's like
they still would have came out in droves. It wouldn't have mattered.
It was a really a miracle event across the board in like many locations around the island, and a lot of people, unfortunately for them, they over merchandise, and that's just the way it goes. But for the fans and the people who enjoy the moment, there were a lot of really precious moments that we shared with each other, and the fact that it came off virtually perfect, it's like all the more power to you. But it was like you said, Janie, it's like how on earth could you anticipate this from 50 years ago?
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. When I saw Joe Alves, it was just like it was just like the middle of September in 1974. It's like, hey Joe, how are you? Fine, Marty, how are you? How's it going?
Yeah, just right back at that moment. Like,
and then we started talking about some technical stuff that we encountered at the time, and working on the Shark and Roy Arbogast and all this other stuff that and Ward, because Ward was a good friend of mine and a good friend of Joe Alves, and we talked about some of the problems of the Hollywood people, and how we were just as glad that they weren't around now, because some of the people who were causing problems on the movie, it was just like Joe and I were on the same page. We had to be from the very beginning of the movie, and then the movie was over, and then edit the film, and here it is, Marty and Joe talking again, just as though it's like Norton and Estabrook's Boathouse 50 years ago. It's like, because we were simpatico. We were on the same page. We were engaged in what's called in physics entrainment. It's like the sine waves match up perfectly.
Yeah.
And that adds to the productivity. But it also adds, and more importantly, to the creativity of the project, because Joe could trust me and I could trust Joe, and we didn't waste time with bullshit. We gave clear instructions about what could or could not happen for the physical reality of what was trying to be made.
Right.
Sure.
And that
hey,
whole,
I'm sorry, go ahead, buddy. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was going to say that whole process, I don't think is ever, Matt Taylor did a good job of capturing it in his newest version of the book. Jaws, Memory of Martha's Vineyard, but still, it's like you can't capture the electric energy and the voltage surges that were going on, and that's something that I've tried to explain that to people, and it's largely an unexplainable situation.
Unless you're in that moment, you wouldn't understand.
Sure.
On behalf of all our
Yeah,
all
exactly.
the Jaws fans, Marty, on behalf of all the Jaws fans, thank you for all the hard work on that film, because it paid off, my friend. It paid off.
And speaking of Jaws fans, we
Yeah,
have
it
we
did.
have
Nobody knew it.
Right.
Hey,
speaking
Bill,
of Jaws
how are
fans,
you?
we have another one
Good.
hopping on that we met on the island. He would hop on for a couple of minutes. So, Bill, sorry we had you sitting there idle for a bit. This is
That's okay. No, I enjoy hearing all the stories.
Hey, Bill.
Hey,
So
oh,
Bill said he
thinking-
wanted to hop on and spend a little bit of his favorite time. So, Bill, that's your time. What do
and
you got?
mine's from a little different perspective because my favorite things were the sort of the unexpected things that happened and how fate sort of took place. I was looking on my phone here. I reserved my reservation to an Airbnb back in July of 2024, and I just rolled a dice. And I said, you know what? It's going to probably be that weekend. There was some chatter in all of these groups I'm part of. So I just rolled the dice, and you could get a refund, it said. So I paid, it was like $1,500. My wife's like, can you get your money back? I'm like, yeah. So I just paid for this. I did a little research, and I'm like, oh, this looks nice. And it was called Attleboro House. It was in Oaks Bluff. And it was the top floor with a balcony. It turned out to be directly across from the Orca. So
Oh,
so this is what I'm saying. All of these things that I'm going to talk about are just things that just sort of fell into place. So we had spent the prior week in Cape Cod. We did a whole vacation. I'm from California. So we wanted to sort of make this like a 2-week vacation. So we spent a week in Cape Cod, came over on Thursday, took the ferry, went into this Oaks Bluff, and I'm like, it's like right across from where Orca is. So number one, I was like, I felt like I won the lottery just right there. And then we couldn't check in. And then this was the other thing. The Let's Talk Live had gone on sale. And I think there was like 50 tickets, or I don't know what there was. There wasn't very many. And I work like 5 a.m. hours. I work weird hours because I work with Europe. And I saw they went on sale. So I'm like, I'm just going to buy them. There's got to be some good stuff, and it'll be fun to kick the weekend off, whatever. So we get there at 2, and they're like, you can't check in. So I'm like, well, let's just go to the museum early. So we're sitting there in the lobby, like where the little reception was. And Wendy Benchley's sitting next to me. She's like sitting there. So I end up having like a 10-minute conversation with Wendy Benchley about, I was like, I said, I'm a fan. I said, I loved Your Husband's all your books. And I started talking. I'm like, I just started to reread all his books. Actually, I finished The Deep last night. I read Jaws last summer. I'm starting The Island this week. I'm rereading all his books as an adult where I read them. And I sort of mentioned to her, I said, I read these all when I was like 10 years old. And I said, reading them now as a 50-something man is such a different, you don't realize like it's sort of adult and it's this. And she's like, oh, I hear that a lot. But, I sort of told her it sort of got me reading. I love to read. I loved all his books. And, at 10 years old, I'm reading these books. But she was like the nicest person to just just talk to. And we talked for a while. And then we were sitting there waiting for you guys to open, and we're sitting there. So we go in, we end up sitting right in the front row on the right, of course, where Richard Dreyfuss ends up sitting. So again, it was just sort of fate where my wife's like, well, let's just go sit down, whatever. And then he comes in and boom, he's like right in front of us. And then when it all ended, we had the opportunity to talk to him, which was great. And my wife, and I actually have a video of it. She talked to him saying that her favorite movie by him is Mr. Holland's Opus. And I had met him many years ago in California. There's a thing called the Hollywood Show in LA where the celebrities come. And Richard's been there a few times. So about 6-7 years ago, my son and I made a 24-hour trip down there just to meet him. And I got Mr. Holland's Opus signed for my wife and everything. So when she got to meet him, she told him, and he agreed with her. And he goes like, that's like one of his favorite all-time roles, which was really cool. Which was another just sort of like fate that we were just sort of there at the right time, and and seeing all of you guys. And then the nice thing about the hotel, it was around the corner from the movie theater that's now closed and Todd's shop. So it was right there. So we ended up becoming semi-friendly with Todd. And so I got one of these hats from Todd, which was the design he did.
Yes. Yeah, the original
Yeah.
design. Yeah, yeah.
And he
Yeah.
only had a couple of these, so he gave it to me, and then I ended up getting it signed by everybody.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Nice.
Joe, Richard
Joe even
Dreyfuss,
drew the
Joe,
shark for you.
Jeffrey, Jeff. So I got everyone to sign this hat, and I thought that was cool. And Todd gave me the whole story of the logo and how he had the copyright, and so we ended up buying quite a bit online. But he goes, if you see it, it says he had the copyright from Joe, and he showed me the sketch and everything. So it was really cool. All these sort of unexpected little things that happened, and like I said, it wasn't planned. It was just our hotel was there. We sat in front of Richard. Wendy walks in. We ended up going to the 50th, that movie, the National Geographic, and we ended up sitting in front of Lee Fierro's really good girlfriends were in back of us. So we ended up talking to them.
Oh, wow, really?
So when she came on the screen, they were like, oh my God, I miss Lee. She was, oh my God, it's so sad that she's gone. And after I turned around and I was like, oh, I didn't want to overhear you, but, I just wanted to say how much we appreciate her work. And they were like, oh, we thank you. And they were saying what a wonderful lady. And it was just really
she was
cool
amazing.
that we just happened to sit and they're like right behind us. And that was really
Yeah.
cool.
Lee
And-
was probably the sweetest woman I've ever met. Seriously.
Yeah. And they just couldn't say enough nice things about her. They were like, she was really
I
nice.
I was friends with Lee and her family for like 15 years, and we did most holidays together. I was best friends with her husband, Bernie. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to her son, Ethan, who is the same age as the Kintner boy. So when she was doing the Kintner boy scene, that she pulled on if it had been her actual loss of Ethan. And that was one of the ways she was able to animate her role in that movie. But you're right, she was a really sweet lady.
Yeah, she was.
And then in addition, besides meeting all of you guys, it was great to make the connections. I agree with that. I met so many cool people, and then I've taken those relationships out of that trip. So I still talk to people. I've sent them things. And being in California, I went down to LA for the Academy Museum, and I have to say, that is incredible. Like the Martha's Vineyard Museum was great, but this is like 5-10 times just the excitement. It was, you walk in and they have it like how the movie plays out, and they have sets of like the beach, and they have the orca, and they have a whole room of just memorabilia and souvenirs and stuff that people buy. And I mean, and I think that's great for people listening to this. If you couldn't make it to Martha's Vineyard and you're in California, which I know a lot of people are, take the trip to LA. It's not that far, and it's there, I think, till next year, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm gonna probably go again. I go to LA a lot, and it was like $20. I mean, it wasn't even that much. It's like $15-20 to see it.
Yeah, it's not expensive to get in. It's a very nice.
Runs through
museum.
July, I believe.
Yep.
In July?
Runs through July.
I'll be going out there probably in April to just mainly for the Jaws exhibit.
Oh,
Can't wait. Yep.
Well, it's funny that you're talking about, some of the people that were out or are out on the West Coast that didn't make it, because this picture happened to pop up in social media just the other day. We had Joe Alves with us, obviously, who was from the West Coast, but the one person we didn't see was Steven Spielberg, and this happened to pop up. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Wait, what? Oh, God.
Come on, you're picking up on the joke? Come on, guys, I'm just expecting laughter. Nothing.
Yeah.
Come on. That was the advertisement they put out for us. That's like, so I saw this picture of Spielberg seeing Joe, and it was at in LA at the W, and it half looked like he was trying to choke him, and I thought, I got to do something with that. So, all right, I got one laugh. There we go. Okay, right. There we go.
But I can't say enough about going and seeing that exhibit. If you didn't go to Martha's Vineyard, I mean, Martha's Vineyard was just a special, I think, magic that won't happen. But you could go there, and I felt there it was. I mean, there's just so many cool things there that's original, and I don't think you'll see that again in one place. It definitely had more than what was at that one at Martha's. There was a lot more stuff.
Sure.
And they have a lot of unique stuff they produce, like shirts and books and like stuff you can only get at the museum. I think you can order some online, but there was just take lots of cash, Val, because there's just there's just tons of stuff.
You got an empty credit card? Is Christy gonna give you an empty credit
That's
card?
right.
I'm not telling her.
But yeah, and like I said, that whole weekend was just all these things just happened that just seemed that it was just meant to be, all this stuff going on, which was just really cool.
It really was. It was very much a magical time, and that's what you constantly hear from everyone who was there.
And I have to say, all the Jaws fans were so nice. Like everyone, we had a common connection, and everyone was just. And like I said, I've struck up friendships with people who are on the bus on the turn next to me. I still talk to them. We trade Jaws stories. He's in LA. We were hooking up at the museum. I mean, there's, it's just, it was really cool. It was really, really neat.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. Great. And great perspective. The fact that you were able to kind of walk in there, not last minute, but if you know anything about traveling to Martha's Vineyard during the season,
I knew nothing. Like I said, I knew
like that. Yeah.
I knew zero, and we had to check out in Hyannisport. We were staying there, and we had to check out Thursday morning. We get on the ferry, and the only one was like 10, and it got there like at 11:30 to Oaks. And then Attleboro House is like, you can't come till 4. And I told my wife, I'm like, we got to be there. So let's just drop our luggage. Figured out the bus system because there wasn't really Uber. So I'm like, well, let's just figure a bus out. Dropped us at the bottom of that long hill up the hill to the museum. And then we figured out the museum. But it was just, and then we just got there early because we had nothing else to do. So I'm like, oh, there's Wendy Benchley. And and I think I was in front of you, Val. You were behind me.
Yep.
Well, and if I have to say something, and I didn't put it into perspective until everyone started sending videos and pictures and stuff. It was almost like when everyone bought their tickets, if you were 6 feet and above, you sat in like the front 2 rows. Did anyone happen to notice that besides me? Everyone that sat, it was like all the tall people, like Jamie Sanders, who was
I was behind
just a walking mountain,
and Jamie, constantly looking
I mean,
around.
Bill, you're over 6 foot. I mean, for God's sakes, it was like all the tall people were up front in the front row. Well, my wife was 5'4", is like standing in the back.
We're in front.
I thought maybe I had shrunk because I got old, but they were genuinely tall people.
Yeah, my wife was like, we have to sit in front because she's like 5'3". So she's like, we have to sit right in front. Let's just go. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Right. I got a couple people chiming in here. So we got John Campbell, one of our good friends, chiming in.
The other JJC.
Best summer of my life. It's been a joy meeting you all in person and on this show. Thanks again to Marty for watching my short film. I'm so excited to visit Val, Chrissy, and Kathy in October. Oh, that's cool.
Wow,
I'm going to bring them all around New York City, and we're going to do a lot of Soprano stuff. He likes the Sopranos, right, John? Bada bing.
Yeah, right.
John, stay posted.
Take him to
John, you might see a little bit of yourself here at the end of the show here tonight, buddy.
Yeah, John, he did that great little short film, the Island, which is a terrific short film.
Yeah.
From a fan's perspective, I love it. He's very talented.
We got a couple other people chiming in here. Mark Ames is saying, sorry, I can't join live. He's down with strep throat at the moment, so he said he wanted to pop in and say something.
Feel better, Mark.
But he had a blast meeting all the Jaws fans trivia and seeing it on the big screen in the group. Yeah, we all went out. That was the night that the crew from The Shark Is Broken came into the theater. It had some of the seats roped off, and it was for them, and that was.
And that reminds me too, when I saw Jaws at the outdoor theater, I'm waiting in line for the bathroom, and Guy Masterson's behind me.
Yep.
And I had I'm in California, but I had made a trip to New York to see the play, so I flew out. I mean, I've got an office, so I sort of made up a business trip, and my daughter lives in Manhattan, so I just went because I was not going to miss that play. So I saw it, and he's like right behind me, and he took a picture, and I just told him, and he had said actually he's trying to get it to LA to the Schubert. I don't know where that.
Oh, wow.
Or Mark Taper.
Wow.
because I asked him, I go, hey, I saw it in New York, which I thought that was perfect. I saw it like fourth row center. I met
Yeah,
all
me
the
too.
cast after. I got to talk with Ian for a while, which was really awesome. And I asked him about it, and he said they're really, really working on getting it to like that set of theaters in Southern California. But I don't know. You know, he said he didn't know. I mean, that was what, July, but he said that was their plan, was to get it to LA. So so let's hope. I haven't heard anything, but
Very
have
nice.
you guys? Did you guys watch that? It was on the island, wasn't it? Or was that after?
I saw it in New York probably right around the same time that you did. Yeah, and we had
because it was only there for 6 weeks. So
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
it in New York too.
yeah, we
So I
had
think-
we had Guy and Matt on the show when they were gearing up and getting ready to do the Cape and the Islands as well. And so yeah,
Yeah.
that was after we all left, unfortunately.
That was what,
Um,
around in
but-
July? Is that correct, Nate? Is
Yeah.
when they were
Yeah,
doing
July,
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
July. Yeah.
Yeah, it was July.
I did
Yeah.
see it on. I did see the copy on the Broadway
HD.
streaming is when I saw.
Oh,
It-
nice, very nice.
it was excellent, though. I mean, those guys just hit the
Yeah.
marks, and
Yeah.
Ian was a really nice
Very
guy
well
to
done.
talk to after
Yeah.
and such. I mean, it was great.
They were all very friendly afterwards. They all came out and
Yeah.
took
Very
pictures.
personable. Yeah. Well,
And I ended up
think
buying
one-
the big poster that they have. You know, they sell you the playbill, and I had everyone sign it and do everything. And I'm like, how am I going to get it home? Because I saw it like Saturday night, and I'm leaving Sunday, so I had to run and find a Staples and get like a round tube
Right.
because I'm like, I'm
Tube.
staying in Times Square. I'm like, where's there a store? Like, I didn't think it out. I just started buying stuff, and I'm like, I'll worry about getting it home later. But I'm like, it became Bill's adventure in New York, finding a tube, which is harder than you think.
It is.
Because I'm like, I'm not going to fold it. I can't carry it. I'm like, what am I
Yeah.
going to do? You know, it's like in my office. It's huge.
like
it
Ferris
was
Bueller with a Ferrari in downtown
In
Chicago, right?
Thinking he's a sausage king of Chicago.
Well, that was like all the
Well, I
Jaws
think
stuff.
we-
I bought an extra suitcase, and then that suitcase
Well,
went home with me. So.
I was going to say you should have bought another plane ticket, to put all the luggage in the extra seat to get it home. It probably cost you about the same. You know?
I'm going to travel light when I go in April because I know I'm going to bring back a shitload of Jaws stuff.
There's like,
Yeah.
you know, Val, there's like at least 2 to 3 tables, and it's like, and then I was looking at, because it's marked if it's made by the Academy, because like the other stuff you can get anywhere. They have like the Legos and all that, but they have like all this unique stuff that you can't get anywhere else that they're making it there. So it's like
That's what I'm
that
gonna buy.
you got to like make some room for.
I will.
Val, you should go in May. There's
Why?
a possibility the Hollywood show in May will be have a lot of Jaws 2 people there.
Oh, come in May, because I go. Actually, the Hollywood show's this weekend, and I couldn't go. It's the first one I've missed in ages. But
Yeah.
if that's in May, I'll definitely be down.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I think-
I was thinking about going in May too. You know, so maybe I'll just postpone it till May.
Because I was talking
You go
about
about
bringing some of the Jaws 2 people in May. So
So let's
That's
all go.
awesome.
Come on, everybody. Let's book a trip. Let's
Because
go.
I know
Janie's
last
out on
year-
that one. Sorry.
Because last year they had Joe and Richard, and then they canceled everyone because I guess Richard canceled and then Joe canceled. But I mean, I saw them on the island, but I was hoping they would get them back again. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
well, I was there in 2016 with the Jaws 2 kids, and Richard was there, and his line was nonstop.
Is that
Except
when
for
they
when
had
he
the
went
big
to
shark?
lunch.
Is that when they had the shark head?
Yeah.
That's when I was there. I was at that same one, and
Okay.
we stood like 2 hours in line for him, and then I had the photo op, and I have a picture with him and the shark, and me and my son.
Yeah.
Very
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was a good
his
show.
line was his
Great
line
Great
was
show.
like
They
that.
had like, so they have like 80 people every year. They have, from all, movie stars and TV
Yeah.
stars. And,
Yeah, I mean, it's hit or miss, but a lot of times they have good people. I mean, there's some solid people a lot of the time.
Is this an
like
actual event? This is an actual event that happened?
the
Yeah.
Hollywood show.
Yeah.
It's a
Hollywood
it's like
Hollywood
a
show.
celebrity convention. I think last year I went down and it was Lee Majors and Lindsay Wagner. They had the 50th
wow.
anniversary of the
Bionic
Bionic Man or Woman.
Bionic Woman, man.
Oh, it's in May, right? You're saying it's in May? That's what I'm gonna do then.
It's like, yeah, it's May. Well, it's this weekend. It's 3 times a year. It's January, May, and October. But let me see.
Oh,
It's going to be May. I'll tell you when it's going to be. I have it on my calendar here to go. It's going upcoming shows.
I want to
When's the
say
next one?
that's the same show that Nick Mara had taken the full
Hey, Quint.
body
Yeah,
Quint in the
Where's my thing
chair.
from it? Yeah.
May 29th and 30th, Val.
my birthday's
Yeah.
the 28th.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There's the 28th. Interesting. I'm going to try to
Because
make
when I was there, they had like Paul Sorvino was there and Bruce Stern,
Yeah.
and it was Richard Joe, Roy Arbogast was there,
Wow.
Teddy Grossman was there,
Oh.
Nick
Oh,
Marr
and
was
I
there
have-
with his Quint thing.
I have a funny story about that too. Pamela Sue Martin was there, which I love, and she's Poseidon Adventure. And you know, Richard
just
did the
watched that
remake.
the other
And
night.
she was across from his table, so I talked to her. I'm like, "So what do you think of part 2?" And she's like, "Eh," or not part 2, but the remake. And she was like, "Eh," but she goes, "But I love Richard Dreyfuss." She's like, "I'm gonna go attack him after I stop talking to you." But she was right across from him at
He
the
was the best
table.
thing in
which
that
was
movie.
funny.
He was the best thing in Poseidon.
Yeah.
No, Under Sport Night is the best thing in Poseidon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the Poseidon Adventure. Poseidon is the remake. I actually
Yeah.
Oh, I think Poseidon Adventure. Okay. Yeah, he was the best thing in Poseidon. Yeah.
The Poseidon Adventure is the first film I ever saw in a theater, so it always holds a special place in my heart.
My first PG movie was Jaws.
Oh, wow.
Because I was like 10, and I was like, "Oh, it's a PG movie." And I remember my buddy I went with, his name was Chris, and we walked like a mile to the theater. It was like $1. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to see a PG movie." And you know, you're like 10 years old, and you're like, "Ah."
Rite
that
of
was like-
passage. It's a rite of passage.
So that was, I mean, I don't know. It just always stuck with me. After I saw that, it was just always my favorite film. It was just like that. I like that, and I like Superman 78. Like those two are sort of.
Yeah.
We're on the
when
same
I
page,
was-
Phil.
Huh?
We're on the same page. No-
I think it's just being that age and like Star
Yeah.
Wars. I mean, Star Wars, yeah, but Superman, I don't know. I'm still, and the same thing. I go to all the events with Superman and meet everybody. I mean, I'm like a big Superman freak. So
Well, you know, speaking of rite of passage or you know other memorable things, I think another thing that was very significant with us, and it just happened to kind of tie in time period wise with everything that we've been talking about as well. How about this
Oh.
book?
Yeah.
How about this
Oh.
book? I mean, come on.
Beer?
Yeah.
We're talking Guinness?
The beer.
Oh no, that's not a Guinness. Guinness is what you wash your glass out before you pour one of those. Sorry, but
Hey.
Wow. Wow. We apologize to our Great Britain fans.
Rich, hello.
sorry. I know Guinness is that, but this is so a local watering hole for me when I get there is I like to go to offshore ale. It's just a great place, great food, really good beer, and they do a beer called the Inkwell. It's an imperial stout. It's like a 10% stout. It's a sipper. It's not one you're going to sit and go nuts on. And Mike's book, Jaws Fanatics. He was doing the book signing. The book got released. It was there for the 50th on the island, and he was having trouble getting it to the island. It just was, getting backed up or whatever. And the unfortunate part was, I believe, Mike, you had left the day before.
Yeah.
I think to go back home, and Jamie Sanders calls me, and he is in Edgartown, and said, "Nate, the books are in." I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get one." He said, "I already got one for you," and he dropped it off for me. And I was walking into town, and I walked into town. I usually go in there and I stop and I sit at the bar and usually talk to some of the locals and hang out and do this and that. And I just sat there and I had a moment for myself for about 20 minutes. It was just me and the book and just sitting there having a drink in one of my favorite watering holes on the island. And it was it was a pretty cool moment. It really was, to sit and go through that and see that and see Mike's latest creation. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a pretty cool. It was kind of like icing on the cake because a lot of the events had gone and passed, and this just happened to show up. I know it was a little late, but honestly, it was almost perfect timing because it kind of curtailed the end of all of the events, and I just thought that was pretty good timing, despite the fact that maybe it wasn't the best timing, Mike. So very cool.
Great book.
Did you read the whole thing or just the pages you're on?
I read the majority of it. I've gone through it. Now, bits and pieces, mind you, bits and pieces. Yeah, I didn't go through it all at once. There's one or two things I want to kick back through, but yeah, but it really, honestly, just an incredibly fun book, and just
I mean,
the fact that
he did screenshot the page that I'm on. He goes, "Okay, they're in." I went, "Okay, bye.
I want to be in part 2.
Enjoy your stout. Bye."
Talk to my grandson. He'll write part 2 for the 100th anniversary. So.
There you go. We'll get him.
There we go. And
I'll be there.
yeah,
Right. I'll be right next to you.
I didn't leave the indelible mark on the island that Mike left on the island, but I tried to leave a little bit of us on the island. And when I was at the museum, I was there a bunch of times. There was a really cool room, and in the room there was a big blow up of a picture of the orca when I believe it was being drugged backwards. And they're trying to cut the ropes loose and stuff. It was literally put on like wallpaper, and they had strings hanging from the ceiling, and they were asking people to draw something Jaws related or draw a card. And if you walked in that room, you knew right away.
Yeah.
And I wanted to leave a little something from us, and so I sat down and pushed a couple 5-year-old kids out of the way and stole some of their crayons, and I sat. And I wanted to leave a little bit of us there, and so that's what I drew and left up there. So for us, and that was just kind of me saying thank you. It really was, or I should say, us saying thank you, and that's that was hanging on.
Nice.
Well
I
done.
did before I walked out of that place. So just felt like I had to do something, and I'm not much of a writer.
No, that's perfect. What are you talking about? That's perfect.
You drew that, Nate? You drew that?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, does he draw it? Let me see. What do I have here?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But I just felt like I kind of needed to just at least say thanks and just leave something there, because I thought
every time he draws his shark, I save it. Every time he
wow.
gives me a package, I save them. I'm like, oh, there's Nate. I don't throw them away.
I got my envelope.
and
Yeah.
and so I just all the people that we met and that we've come in contact and become really good friends with over the last year on the island have just all been amazing people. I mean, Marty, you just happen to be one of them, I mean, really, they all really have been and still touch base from time to time. Whether it be, the girls from the chamber, whether it be from the museum, whether it be, Monica from over at the Gazette. I mean, it's just, everyone just kind of says hi now and then, and it's really, really cool. And it says a lot about not only, our community, it says a lot about Martha's Vineyard and that community as a whole. It really is. And really, for the most part, I think there's some parallels there. So very cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Very nice. So, well, we're kind of rounded out on the time, and typically what we do is we do our little fun spins up, and we have Quinn take us out. But for tonight, I want to do something a little different. I want to do something a little special. And I went through and I tried to compile a handful of seconds from most of our shows that we did in 2025. Just the Jaws shows, not the back in the day shows. And I tried to kind of piece some neat little moments, whether it be a funny moment, whether it be a moment that was just really interesting to listen to, whether it be an endearing moment or a neat connection. I tried to kind of reel it all together. And I thought that would be a wonderful way to kind of end this evening and to kind of look back on 2025 and think about how much fun it was and how much we enjoyed it and the memories. And so that's where we're going to kind of wrap things up tonight. So before we do that, I do want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everyone who has been a part of us this past year and beyond this past year. Big round of applause to everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Here,
Thank you so much.
everyone at home watching us, everyone that gets on and watches the shows, and anyone who I have, we've been able to meet and say hi, and just had the acquaintance of. It's been wonderful. Bill, I really want to thank you for hopping on with us tonight. Marty,
Thank you, Marty.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Seriously, and you guys are hanging out with us tonight. Just a handful that keep popping up and commenting here. Steve and Judy and Victor, all our regulars and Jamie.
The
We got
regulars.
Donna's hanging out with us. Queen of the Island herself. The Jaws Queen herself with
The
us.
fairy Jaws mother.
Another wonderful lady. In fact, I've got to call her. I haven't talked to her. I should have
Yeah,
talked to her over the holidays. So Donna, expect a phone call from me this weekend. I haven't talked to you in a while. Really want to thank you guys a lot and everyone involved, and Val, Mike, and Janie, and Hooper. I don't say it enough to you guys. Thank you guys, because
Wow.
huge impact on me.
My pleasure.
Every week,
You work your butt off, so we thank you for
Definitely.
being a part of it.
Yeah.
Without you, we wouldn't be able to do it.
That's
Well,
right,
thank you
Nate.
very much.
I mean, you're a terrific moderator, and you make things flow organically, and it's thanks to you too, buddy. So
It's a group effort, and as we always say, it's a family thing, and it really is. And I truly mean that. And I'm not saying it has to be cliche by any stretch of the imagination. It really is. It's a huge thing, and that's my constant connection. These are, no one that I've come across came out to be someone that they weren't portrayed as online. It's been amazing individuals.
Jaws has made us a family. That's the way I look at it. It's made us a family.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to pull us off the screen, and we're going to mute ourselves, and I'm going to pull in the video. Sit back and enjoy the video. It's about 5 minutes long, and I want to thank you guys very much. Little fins up to everyone at home. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a wonderful, and keep tuned in. We've got some great people coming on the next couple of weeks to join us. So,
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Marty.
Sure.
Thanks, guys.
Good to
Thank
see
you,
you.
guys.
thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate your time.
There it is.
Marty
Like that,
sharing
Marty.
some of his art as well. That's right. Yeah.
Hey, Marty.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Everyone at home too. Fins up. Have a wonderful evening.
Cheers.
All right, so here we go. Hope you guys enjoy this.
Individuals under the age of 18, right? All Jaws pictures, clips, and music are owned by copyrighted NBC Sid Sheinberg.
I'm joining. We got 13,000 members. I'm joining.
Oh man, that one sounds really quick. Oh Jesus.
It's just that one scene. It's like everything's great, and then Spock's in the face, and then I wake up and see he's back. I'm like,
Jaws, Superman, and Empire Strikes Back.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Empire was the Imperial Mark.
Eyes.
You're social.
Yeah.
Good thing it has
Can
for
you imagine just mailing
Mother's,
that off?
Mother's Day.
We're all going 49 more days, and you're going, wait, there's only 49 more days? What?
No, I know. It's gonna be show me the way to go home soon.
Hey, that's exactly right. Look at that. All right.
To be exact, it's 49 days, 5 hours, 25 minutes.
All right.
Oh my
What
God.
else can we plan? Yeah.
Down below there as well.
I'm here to show that we are great white shark friendly.
Yeah.
I love it.
But the shark run was so much fun last year. We started at Bad Martha's. We all had these inflatable sharks on, and we're running. And the great thing is, you don't have to really run in an inflatable.
And he's looking at his watch, and he realizes it's not a watch, it's a prop.
I went over to her house. I'd gotten out of the Navy. I was bumming around. I was doing some gas station work and some carpentry work, anything to put 2 dimes in my pocket.
So one day, my partner, my ex-partner, Andy, it was his son who was head of production. Andy called me for some reason, and I said, whoever owns the rights to a film that I think we should remake, it. And why don't you call your son and find out if you can get the rights? And 10 minutes later, he called back, laughing. He was laughing hysterically. And he said, your name is shit.
From nowhere. And she was just like, hey, do you want to go in? And it was a woman that worked at the museum. And I was like, yes, like, please.
Finishing it. And I think once we finish it and feel good about that, then I think we'll be a little bit more comfortable about sort of letting the more cats out of the bag, or skunks. Skunk's up.
We're skunk. There you
Yeah,
go. Let
you know,
skunk's out of the
like,
bag,
did you
right?
get an interview with a skunk at all? I'm just curious, or not, you know.
I was like, you know what? Let me pause that and say, I want to write something down. I want to remember this one client. I want to, and then I started again, and she will tell you when I've had a cocktail, I might pause the movie a lot and go, you know, and she's like, can we just watch the movie?
You hear the background?
Yeah.
It's right from this scene.
Some films entertain us.
Around and I go up to the bar and I think they had like tickets or something like that, and that's when Nate said, here, I got an extra one. And I remember you gave me
one. The beauty of making film and any kind of job in the arts is you're always learning. You never stop. And every production you venture onto, you take what you've learned and you leave what didn't work behind and kind of
Called you, and I went home with 3 of them. I still have them. I've got them here.
There you go.
Got them here.
Those are a bargain. Those are a bargain.
So, me personally, I have to say thank you for keeping that going.
Oh, well,
Because
thanks.
It's changed the world immensely.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You know, that's wonderful to hear. And
Yeah. And Dusenberry, Jaws 2, played this comedy legend's daughter on her last TV series.
And the 75th is right around the corner.
Well,
so
all
what
I
do you
can
have
say-
in store for that?
Well,
Yes. Now we're talking.
Under about 2 foot of dirt, and then when we go in, they suddenly start coming up out the ground. Oh, I had a moment of self-reflection there. I was like, why?
Spanish ladies, farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.